Nation, welcome back to the Bros.
We are back.
We are. I think it'd be like we are the Bros. Nope, but we are back. How are you?
Nosotros somos los bros.
Nosotros somos real.
Y también los bros.
What's up, bro?
Well, these Wednesday, Saturday games are something else, right?
Let me tell you, as I'm like scratching my nose, I have like something in my nose right as we started recording. That was nice.
Well, freaking Sunday. Can we go back a few days? It snowed on Sunday.
Oh yeah, it did.
I was like,
Did it?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
today's Thursday as we're recording, and it's still kind of cold. It's sunny outside, but Sunday was cold. Sunday snowed
I've
in
noticed
May.
I've noticed that at beginning of every episode, you like give us some weather report out of your
Yeah,
window. We should just
yeah,
name like this Marcus's weather report at the very beginning of these episodes.
yeah. So that's it for your weather segment,
Okay.
everybody.
Thanks for that, Marcos. Back to you. So we have a lot to go over. To be I guess to clarify, there's 4 games that we have to go over. Four.
For cuatro partidos.
Quattro. Also, don't mind the background noise. I have a daughter just came in. She was supposed to be downstairs. Anyways, we have Kansas City, New Mexico, Galaxy, and Seattle to go over.
Yeah, the joys of these Wednesday, Saturday games. I'm sorry, everybody. We're not going to do 2 episodes a week. We're just going to do one.
Yeah, no,
Because that,
there's just like I know there's a lot of stuff to go over, but we don't have that much time.
yeah. So without further ado, let's get right into it because we got four games to break down for you guys.
Do
So
it.
last Saturday, we had the privilege of playing our rival, and it
You,
was a great.
wait. You say rival.
Now
Now, are they a rival?
everybody was hating me at the tailgate, the comments. They are a rival, okay? Yes,
Sure, sure.
give me a hard time. Kansas
I
City is
I
is
still
our
don't
rival, okay?
I still don't see him as a rival, to be honest. That we've gotten over that hump in terms of like team wise. As a fan, there's still sentiments. I can
Yeah,
understand that.
yeah. So you brought your son to the game.
As always.
What did he think of the atmosphere? Because the last time you got brought him to a game was the Columbus game, no goals. He was like, "Papa, yo quiero goles," and
Yeah.
he and RSL delivered for the little man.
Yeah, finally. So during the like up until the 80th minute when the goal happened, the actually let me start pregame. Pregame, he was disappointed that he didn't get to play soccer. So we get there,
Yeah,
he's like, "Where's the soccer?" And I'm like, "Not there today.
well,
Sorry."
you didn't pass the word along. I told you.
I tried to make it like a surprise disappointment. I didn't want him to be disappointed previously.
Oh, terrible father, terrible
How's
father.
that terrible? I
You're
mean, I didn't
you
want
got
him to be
let him
disappointed ahead
down
of time.
softly.
Exactly. Let him down softly. Um, so get there. There's no soccer for him to play. We ended up just chatting with some people, and I said, you know what, we're gonna do the walk in. He's never done the walk in with the supporters
Hmm.
groups plural.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so we did that. I put him on my shoulders because he didn't want to walk. He never wants to walk, so I carried him. Um, plus I have to. He's my only son.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, yeah, get on there. So we went and did the walk. I was exhausted. You guys probably saw from the picture. I had like a I had the fat kid face. Like, I'm so tired. I'm like,
Give us more of the double chin, please.
yeah, no, thank you. I'm trying to get rid of it. The summer's already here, and I'm like, ah, crap.
Yeah.
So he enjoys that. He has his hands up in the air, just like going along with the chants. But from the beginning of the game until about the 80th minute, like every 3 minutes was like, "Papá, ¿cuándo van a hacer goles? Papá, ¿cuándo van a hacer goles?" I'm like, chill, bro. Like the goals are coming. Like he enjoyed the whole atmosphere. It was,
Oh yeah.
I think it was better than the Columbus game, to be honest. In
I'm
terms of
surprised like you didn't send me a video of him taking his shirt off, none of that.
no, he didn't take his shirt off because if my wife, his mom saw the shirt was off, she was gonna be texting me like, "Why is this shirt off? It's freezing cold outside." So I just
Summertime we'll bring him and then he can take his shirt off at the game.
he'll probably just be attending the game without a shirt the whole time,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah,
So
so
he loved it, and when think I said in one of my personal tweets when we scored, he like screamed like we had just won the World Cup final. He's like, I'm like,
As he does, as he does. The kid has more energy. He should be in the South supporters group eventually. Like he
he may be
he's the
the
life of the
capo.
party.
He may be the capo one day. So watch
Like
out, all you
I
capos.
was like, watch out, Keaton, watch out anybody. He might take you guys a spot eventually.
Yeah, he I mean that was probably the I mean, when someone cheers for a goal, but when someone has that face like they just scored like the winner,
Uh-huh.
that's what his face was like. And
Yeah,
so
yeah. The
I
the the
to
pa- the passion your son brings is something else.
I totally enjoyed it. But other than that, the game was not gonna lie, was kind of frustrating to because we were going and going and going, just couldn't put anything in the back of the net.
Yeah, obviously we mentioned last episode Crooks was out because of injury. Julio had to fill in. Julio was playing up top, and then Chicho was playing in that 10, which is normally Crooks's position. But everything else was the same
From the previous game. Yeah, because
from the previous game. Yeah,
Barajas was still playing as well.
yeah,
I think I can only assume that Luna was still trying to nurse that injury, but he came on right at halftime.
he did, he did. Which did that surprise you because they made that switch at halftime, or you're like, yeah, Barajas didn't play up to what I was expecting?
Both. Nice job for reading my mind. So it was we didn't even discuss it. That was the funny part. So it was.
I think it was one of those I did message it to you, but
Did
maybe
you?
you did respond. But it was one
Sorry.
in one ear, out the other ear.
Huh. But now I don't ignore your messages. Just maybe it was, we just talk a lot. One day
You leave me on
we'll
red. You leave me on red sometimes.
last night I did, yes. But the fact that Barajas came off didn't surprise me. He wasn't playing 100% to what expected him to play. Um, but I was surprised that the sub came on at halftime instead of like in the 60th minute or something like that.
Yeah, in that first half, RSL was possession, passing, all control of that game that first half, but just nothing was clicking with us. And maybe a part of that has to do with Barajas because he just wasn't jiving well with Chicho, with Julio, and none of that attacking in Gomez. But then bringing in Luna, I don't want to say he was the main answer, but a part of it for that attack
Um, it's like what we mentioned when Luna came on as a sub last time.
in the St. Louis game.
In the St. Louis game, that somehow when you give Luna the last 45 minutes to work with or
Mm-hmm.
last 30 minutes, he goes like balls to the walls. I don't get it.
It's
But
it's the it, it's the mystery of him having his shirt tucked in also.
is that what you noticed?
Yeah, you haven't noticed that this season when Luna comes in off the bench, his shirt is tucked in.
Does that give him some superpower?
It
Like
must. It
some
must. There's something.
moon power?
The moon power boy. Yep, yep,
Yeah, moon power, tucking in your shirt. So I maybe we should ask everyone to tuck in their shirt to give them
yep,
moon power.
yep.
Um,
Tell your son. Yep.
um, so yeah, the fact that Luna came in and like he put on a good performance. It, I mean, it was better than Barajas, which helped us on that left wing, which left wing has been our weak wing throughout the whole season.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of going right into the second half, we see Brian Vera just. For me, some people will say it's the best thing, that's the best yellow card ever, but I'm shaking my head, I'm like, Vera, what are you doing?
Oh,
Like,
don't be an old man. Come on. Don't be an old man.
yes, it was funny because yes, he literally picks up Daniel's salary like a freaking rag doll, and then he's like, get up off your feet. But I'm just like, dude, you're on yellow card accumulation. Come on, we need you in the next games.
Now, granted, here's a conspiracy theory. Did he do it on purpose, knowing that he was going to have a full week off to recover from any quote unquote injury? I'm just saying, because I only say that, and maybe it's not conspiracy theory, but in the Hablo con Pablo, if you hear Pablo, he asked Vera towards the end of the game,
Yeah,
he asked,
yeah.
are you good to go?
Yeah,
Like,
I
can
I
you
do
keep going?
remember I do remember him saying that, but I just feel like in this situation when you're literally, what, 2 minutes into the second half, the score is 0-0, there's no need for that. It
But here's the thing, though. Sometimes you sacrifice yourself to send a message to the team, to the other team. Because if it was, you can't really see it what on the replays what actually happened. Like if it was like a just they just bumped into each other. But
Mhm.
the fact that Salui like embellished it the way that he did,
Yeah, he's
I
just
mean,
laying there, just kinda just milking the clock, it seems like.
going down, crouching down, and yelling something at him, I don't think was going to be enough to send the message. That's
Yeah.
why.
As Vera usually does, he just crouches over, just yells maybe some explicits in Spanish, but
Yeah, but that I yes, from a referee's point of view, yes, don't do it. Don't do it.
yeah,
As
yeah,
a
yeah.
fan, all the time. I need that energy. I need
Yeah,
that all the time.
throw Vera in some, like, WWE, like, some SmackDown action, like, that would've been awesome, but in, like,
And and, and then
in a referee standpoint, yes.
but here's the thing, here's the funny part is when they asked who would be like the enforcer, who would be a hockey player on the team, and when Vera's like, why is everyone choosing me? Well, well, Vera, here's your answer.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Oh man.
we'll get into it more in a little bit when we break down the LA game, but it's just unfortunate because we're already down. We don't have that many options when it comes to center back, and then we lose one of our better ones. It's like,
You say unfortunate, I say needed, but I mean it is what it is. I think I can understand your unfortunate view because we're so short on center backs. Our center backs are like we're like we barely even have replacements right now.
that's true. That's true.
So
Yeah, but
eh,
Vera does get a yellow card, but he makes up for it for his amazing free kick. Like we knew last season that he had an amazing left foot, but man, he literally just like, I want to say, puts it on a platter.
mm-hmm.
I think at this point, teams were 11 games into the season. Chicho's third top scorer behind Suarez and Messi. Like people should know, don't leave Chicho wide open on the back post.
Right. Well, and yeah, he was wide open. He was wide open. I was gonna say maybe he lost his mark. Maybe he muscled
No,
someone. No,
no,
he
no.
they lost mark on him.
Yeah, literally Chicho kind of like goes behind. I can't remember who was the other attacking player for RSL, but kind of goes right around them and
Mm-hmm.
just
It was he went around Glad.
exactly goes right
Yeah,
around Glad kind of
which
as a dummy.
yeah, going around another tall guy. I
Yeah,
mean,
go as a dummy, just heads it right past, and then defender for KC just thinks he's gonna kick it out of the goal, but kicks it right in. So
I have hands coming right in my face. So here we go. um, and so that the fact that this ended in a win and 3 points for us, really gives us the really gives us a head. Well, let me say this right. Gives us a hands up on other teams right now going into all these Wednesday, Friday, or Wednesday, Saturday games
oh
because
yeah, because you look
we
at the other
needed those
games that
three
happen.
points.
You look at the other games that happened over the weekend. San Jose beating LAFC, which definitely helps us.
Mm-hmm.
Galaxy tying to Seattle. So all these little things helped, and then on top of that, us beating Kansas City. So it's just like the cherry on top over this past weekend.
Yeah, yeah, and it was needed because if we would have gotten only 1 point out of there, I mean, imagine if we only got 1 point.
Oh, I would have been pissed. I would, and I texted you. I think it was like right before. I think it was right before that free kick. I was like, I'll take a point. I'll take a point in this tough situation. It's not ideal, but
I
I'll
don't
take
think
it.
I don't think 1 point would have done justice. Wouldn't
No,
have done justice to how we played during the game. Granted, Kansas City played well as well, but
because
we're
Kansas City was also in the same boat where they had that game, and then they also had Open Cup as well.
hmm well, nice job. Let's go and let's segue.
Yeah. So,
Let's go into the Open Cup games. Games.
uh,
Let's give a brief overview real quick of of other games. Are you saying
well,
hi?
besides ours, the defending champions, they're out. They lost in PKs, so it went to 11 rounds. Detroit City, shout out to Carson there. They made it to the goalkeepers. Houston keeper literally sails it freaking 20 stories high. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you
Was it
just
Tarbell? Is that his name?
Tarbell. Yep, Andrew
And
Tarbell
he
just
used to be
sails it.
one of their he used to be one of their starters. He used to be their
Exactly.
starter. Yeah.
Exactly. And then Detroit keeper comes to the just game winner, just right down the middle, Detroit City with the knocking out the defending champions.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Open Cup. You love it, but you also
You
have to hate it.
you gotta love cup sets, right?
Well, no. But yes,
No,
but
not
no.
when you're not when you're RSL. So I
Um,
guess let's get it right into it because it's just like tearing off a band-aid. You got to do it.
let's just tear off the band-aid. Do it.
Tear off the band. So obviously, with us just playing the Kansas City on Saturday,
Mhm.
we have a midweek game, and then RSL has another game on Saturday. So it's just like you knew what you're getting into with having this mix of A team, B, and C.
But let's go over that. Just give me a few minutes with that one. What would you do as a coach if your team just went your A team went full 90 on
Hmm.
Saturday? Would
Yeah.
You can't play your A team full 90 in this game? I mean, you could, but would you?
Well, you look at other teams last night, referring to Wednesday in their opening cup games. You look at LAFC; they had tons of players who were going full 90. Bawanga, Kai Kamara, other players. It seems like they were taking their cup more seriously. But whereas RSL, they're like kind of mediocre at best, like that they are every year. So there's certain players who I would have swapped out. Like we look at Tommy Silva playing left back. I'm like, what? I feel like there might have been other options in the Monarchs that would have been better than Tommy Silva.
I mean, I don't want to call you out, but because I know you probably don't have the other options. But who else would you put in on the Monarchs? I don't know any. I don't know very many of the Monarchs players to know, but the ones that I hear about would be Tommy Silva is one of them. So
Yeah,
if he's one of the better ones, then yeah, sure. But it's tough when we don't have a full B squad per se.
yeah,
Our A squad is already depleted. B squad is already we're having to play in some B squatters,
yeah.
and our Monarchs are man,
As they literally lost last night to Houston Dynamo 2. So
yeah. So
yeah, so
it's
that's why this just seems too. It was A, B, and C. Like Luna, obviously A team, and then you have Chang, who's part of the B team, and then C, who's part of Gozo and Silva. So it's just like I'm just scratching my head. And it's like, huh,
you know what worries me though. If we remember a couple weeks ago when we played the Oviedo and Hidalgo pairing
yeah,
in the back
in
line,
Chicago.
yeah, we won that game, and
Hmm.
yet we play Quinton and Hidalgo in this one,
Hmm.
and it didn't work out. And I'm kind of worried about Quinton right now. Be, not because not because of all the booing that he received last night, but
Which he should never go back to New Mexico.
there were moments where I was like, yeah, he's good. He's just fine as a center back. But there's other
Yeah,
times
yeah.
where I'm like, yeah, like what? So
I For me, I want to still be somewhat patient with Quentin
yeah,
because
yeah.
the dude's only been with the club for less than a month, and he gets thrown right into the Lions' Den, having to start this game midweek against one of the better New Mexico teams. Like people are discrediting New Mexico just because they're USL. They're still one of the better teams. They're top three in the Western Conference for a reason. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't want to discredit New Mexico at all because we talked about it last episode where they're one of the top ones in USL West,
mhm.
um, USL Championship West. There we are. Too many USLs. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's my issue right now is I don't know if it was mentality, if it was like protecting themselves because we're top of the league, we want to still play well in the league, but at the same time we want to perform well, but at the same time, New Mexico, we can't discredit New Mexico.
Well,
They played balls out.
we look at the first two goals, 17th minute and 19th minute, both by Bailey, which literally giving a player a brace in 2 minutes is just like not something you want to have happen.
Like
But
first goal happened, I walk away to the kitchen. Second goal happens. I'm like, Hello?
Yeah, both of those seem very. I guess it just seemed like our defense was just lackadaisical, just watching just them just take shots. Like, here, you want to take a shot? Go at it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on that ah I I mean we could also get into our defensive midfielder. So we had Ojeda played just fine, but Palacio, guys, I've been defending Palacio and
You have
all
you have been defending Palacio all season. Where post game,
look,
I
this
usually
this
I'm one I don't like reading the comments on Instagram or Twitter because I there's just so much hate comments from you guys, which be better, be better. It's like, but there was just so much hate on Palacio, and usually I'm with you. I try to defend Palacio as much as possible, but he was struggling last night,
now
hardcore.
now let me explain myself because I don't normally defend just Palacio. I defend all South Americans. I don't know why.
For sure, for
It's
sure.
just a South American thing.
It's a tendency you have.
Um and so when I when I defend Palacios because I think he has a lot of potential. He's only 22 years old, mind you. He's not like some 26-year old a veteran that's had experience. He's still pretty young. Um,
Exactly.
but if you look at like for instance Ojeda is 23 years old, and yet
Hmm.
he plays a lot better than Palacio. Palacio last night was just getting spun around, lack of ball control, inaccurate passes. It was just not his game. And it's a game that we needed it to be his game, and he needed it to be his game in order to
Do you
get
think?
future spots.
Do you feel like a part of it has to be with maybe lack of minutes that we've seen from him this season?
To be honest, I think so. I think that has a lot to do with it in terms of if you don't give the player the right amount of minutes, he's not going to be able to be at game speed.
Hmm.
And game speed
Exactly.
is so important, especially at this level. Um, and that's what the biggest complaint was when we first got Luna.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Give him minutes. He needs minutes. That's why he's not doing really well." Well, the same thing with Palacio. Now, arguments come in saying, "Well, he had game time in at Nacional in Colombia. Why doesn't he have that much experience now?" Well, I don't know what to tell you. Two different countries, two different game styles.
Yeah. And then different surfaces as well. So definitely
Yeah.
has to play with. And then it's the same thing with Barajas. Like I feel like Barajas is still trying to make that transition from going to the USL to playing here, and then not getting enough minutes like he would want.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not there's not really much that we can say here in terms of this game besides there were the defense and Palacio are basically I think what killed us in this game. Our offense did just fine. I mean,
Yeah. Speaking of our offense, give a quick shout out to Fidel. First goal ever with RSL, which that was that was amazing. Freaking left side, he's just like nobody's taking really any good chances. I'm gonna go for one and just slots it right past the keeper on
yeah,
the left side.
it was a nice toe poke, and we can't forget that Gozo had the assist per se slash injury. That
Yeah,
sucks. Good assist, bad injury. I think it was it looked like a concussion. I can't say whether it was or not. It looked like a
yeah.
concussion.
I eventually saw Julio coming into this game, but not that early. I wanted to see Gozo play some more time, but it's sad. It's unfortunate injury for Gozo. Hopefully, a speedy recovery and he can be
Yeah.
back with the Monarchs or with RSL. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So I guess my final thoughts on this were defense and defensive midfielders killed us in this game. If we would have had a more solid defense, we would have stood a better chance against I guess high energy New Mexico.
I really thought because we saw Luna score early in that second half in the 49th minute, and it was a great goal. Luna was not afraid to take that shot, which was beautiful. I thought RSL was going to come back into this. I'm like, we're down 3-2. We are being the more aggressive team because you look at the stats in that second half. We were freaking 218 passes, 60% possession, 5 shots, three of them on target. We weren't afraid to take chances, which we weren't really seeing that in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, New Mexico scores a late one to for the dagger. So I'm like,
Yeah. Um. Also, quick thought before we move on. Those announcers were so pro USL, pro New Mexico that I had to watch it on mute. I don't know
oh,
about the rest of you.
I did the same thing.
Like it was like disgusting how
Yeah,
pro
so
USL and pro New
so
Mexico it was.
so Open Cup, get us better announcers. Do better. It's like, come on.
Yeah, seriously, those announcers were like, yeah, New Mexico, you can obviously tell they're the better team, especially against this the best defense in MLS. You can definitely tell the USL is definitely improved. I'm like, bro, like
I should have had a I should
go
have had a
find a
bingo card.
room.
Well, I should have had a bingo card every time they said the word USL. I gotta take a
Yeah,
drink or something. It's like,
seriously.
give us
Uh,
Dunny, give us Dunny for some Open Cup calls.
that'd be funny. Let's move on to this weekend. This weekend is a big one.
It is. It is. So RSL number one in the Western Conference going against number three LA Galaxy. And well, I guess I already spoiled it. I was gonna do a little trivia for you, but last time RSL won
Oh,
in LA, 2017, which that is a long time. 7 years. Can you believe that? 7 years the last time we won in LA.
that is a very long time.
And funny enough, that was a 6-2 victory in LA. And the following year, 2018, we beat them again 6-2, but here at home. So
Yeah,
and
those are
and
good times.
that was Ibrahimovic who we beat 2018 here. So obviously no Vera going into Saturday, which is unfortunate because of yellow card accumulations. So we might possibly see Quinton, but Quinton did go a full 90 against New Mexico. Do you feel like we might do a switcheroo or see a Glad Hidalgo instead?
I'll tell you what's stronger is a Glad Hidalgo. That's
Yeah.
obviously a stronger matchup, the stronger pairing, I think.
Or what about a Glad Oviedo?
No, Oviedo's injured.
Oh yeah, you're right. Scratch. What?
What?
I'm throwing out false information.
um,
I meant
but
Glad Hidalgo.
I I wouldn't put it past Pablo to do a Glad Quinton because of height.
Definitely,
I
definitely.
and then I would put Hidalgo on the right and Catranis on the left. That
Yeah,
that would be a good enough back four for me, because there's experience, and I think that's what's needed in order to surround Quinton. Because when Quinton played against us, when he played for Columbus, he had
yeah.
experience with him, and so he wasn't like the lone man that was supposed to be the only good defender per se.
That actually would be a good pairing. And then possibly if Crooks is back and healthy, we'd have like the three scary towers.
Yeah, seriously, that's all the three tallest RSL players that we have on the roster. But let's talk about LA first because LA is what worries me. I'm not worried about us because I know what we can put forth. I'm
Yeah,
just worried about what we can put forth against the Galaxy. So the Galaxy have a good attack right now,
they have a
but
solid attack. Not just good. They have a scary good attack.
well, I mean Paint Sill is good. How many goals does he have? Four, five, four.
Paint still has the whopping 4 goals, and their leading goal scorer is Joveljic at 6 goals.
That's right, Joveljic. So between Paintsill and Joveljic,
Hmm.
I mean, do can we put good defenders against Paintsill and Joveljic in order to contain them?
I don't know because it scares me because we've seen it in other games where we've played LAFC or these fast attacking teams. I don't know if Brody can keep up with Paintsil because Paintsil is fast,
Well,
and
that's why I mentioned Hidalgo at the right back,
yeah,
not Brody.
that would actually be might be a better switcheroo because we've seen Catranis. Catranis can keep up with these fast players on that left side, no problem. But if I feel if we have maybe Hidalgo on that right side, then that might be a better cushion per se.
Yeah, yeah. What I'm worried about though, but I shouldn't be worried. LA is coming off of a tie against Seattle, who is our following opponent after LA.
Hmm.
Um, they 0-0 draw. Which what did Seattle do in order to contain LA?
Um, I wish I could tell you. I did not watch that game, so
Well, neither did I. That's why let's figure it out. Let's talk it out. I mean, who did the Sounders have? Sounders had Roldan, Polo. on their defense.
and and
Uh,
and Reagan, Jackson
but
Reagan,
but also LA did not play Joveljic.
and as well as Puig.
Correct. Is Puig injured? No. Joveljic says Fought Mobs has Joveljic injured, so that may be something we want to look out for tomorrow/today if you're listening on Friday. Um, we want to take a look at if Joveljic does play this game, because if he does, then yes, we need to be careful.
Yeah, definitely.
Other than that, Puig, Joveljic, Paintsel.
Yeah,
You control them. I think you control the game, to be honest.
yeah, and they have a strong defender in Yoshida who he has been scary on set pieces, so that's another player to keep an eye on when it comes to set pieces. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's I'm just worried about our defense. That's all. But
a a stat that does scare me because LA has been a strong team. They have not lost at home this season.
they haven't.
No, they
Oh,
are they have tied at home this season to St. Louis back in March, but they have not lost at home this season.
interesting. Uh,
So
and
we've
also they haven't blown out any teams either.
no, like they had like that tough battle against San Jose a couple weeks back, but they haven't blown anybody out of the water. So this is going to be an extremely tough test because trying to be the team who is undefeated at home, that's a tough one.
Okay. With that, let's do a prediction time for this one.
Ooh, with just playing a midweek game, and then having no Vera, and having going against a strong LA attack in Puig, Paintsel, and Joveljic, I'm gonna have to go. Unfortunately, a 2-0 loss for RSL.
Ouch. That hurts. That really does hurt. So,
Yeah, it pains me to say that, but I think the winning MLS streak is gone.
well, I'm gonna maybe go a little bit more positive, but I think we still have the mojo. Um, I think we suffered our Saudi Arabia lost. Saudi Arabia lost, and I think we're gonna come back with this one, with a little bit more motivation. And I think this is gonna be a 2-1 win.
You know,
I said it.
I'll take it. that's
I
that's ex-
I mean
that's something
I've had the most winning record this season so far.
you have. Um, even though we should count the Kansas City one, technically that's my win.
Yeah, that's yours. I'm not discrediting your win at all. I'm just saying I've won more. Let's dive into Seattle.
Yeah, so since there's Wednesday, Saturday, we're gonna jump right into Seattle because we're only recording once a week for you guys, unfortunately. So,
No, it's fortunate for us because man, we don't get paid to do this. Not yet. Hey,
um,
pay us. Somebody pay us.
um, but yeah, so we have Seattle midweek. In Seattle, they like we just said, they just tied, against LA Galaxy, and they just had a Open Cup game where they went to penalty kicks, and their goalkeeper Andrew Thomas saved a PK, and then he had the game winning PK.
Can I say that Andrew Thomas has turned into a villain? I
Like
don't like the guy.
freaking Stefan Fry, watch out. Like I think Fry, I think is gonna lose his job in a couple years.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of years, but I don't like Thomas because he's a villain. I don't. Yeah, like who goes out and celebrates like that against a USL team? Like, bro, chill. You play Division 1. Like you're like
Can we just talk about the fact that they have to go play in like I think like what was it Tacoma Stadium?
I think
Like
so.
go play in Lumen Field. Like you guys are so pathetic.
Well, here's the thing. Here, I'm gonna use a little bit of logic here. I
Okay,
think
yes.
because it costs a lot to open up the facility, use the facility.
This is why get your own soccer specific stadium, Seattle.
Also,
Yeah,
but I
yeah, yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So
same
Seattle,
thing with Atlanta also. So,
exactly.
um, but yeah, going into this game, you got Rui Diaz, you got Jordan Morris, very lethal attack. They have no Ladero. Obviously, Ladero went to Orlando, so we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Hmm.
Um, two former RSL players in Musovski and Rusnak, And if it was up to me, South supporters, every time they touch the ball, boo.
Well, maybe for Rusnak because Musasi's not even going to see the field.
No, because
He barely got in on the U.S. Open Cup.
yeah, but this
I
game
mean,
doesn't really worry me as much as the LA game.
it would worry you. It should worry you. I'm telling you. Here's a couple of reasons. Three reasons. Vargas, Atencio, Paulo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that midfield is, even though they might just be background noise, just like our Oviedo and Nelly, that's their that's their core in their midfield. You need to be worried about that because that's where a lot of the stuff start and gets pushed forward.
Yeah. Would you consider this game, because I definitely thought that the Kansas City one was, would you consider that this one against Seattle a trap game?
Trap game?
Yeah, like
Use older terminology. I'm an old man. What?
a a team that nobody would expect us to lose.
Look, I don't. Seattle's gotten better in the past couple of weeks.
Definitely,
Their
definitely.
beginning of the season was horrendous. The past couple of
Yeah.
weeks, they've shown some light and some improvement. Now, what I think does go in our favor, though, is yes, they played this past Wednesday. Yes, they're going to play this weekend. They play on Sunday at Portland. Yes,
Hmm.
granted, it's not a large trip for them. It's only a 3 hour drive, an hour and a half or hour flight, but
Yeah.
they're still on the road Sunday. Then they got to come here Wednesday, and
So we did.
then they have to go back home on Saturday. So
Yeah. So I think Sunday's game against Portland, we might see like a very, I guess, a first team and then a lot of bench players. So that lineup on or yeah,
or
yeah,
reverse, because listen to my logic here. Reverse because Sunday and then the following Saturday are all Cascadia Cups. We're
Hmm.
in the middle of the Cascadia Cup. So do you think they're gonna give us like a break? They're gonna throw in some more subs against us?
I really hope so because
Hmm.
that would help.
I mean, I'm just saying. I think because of how important Cascadia Cup is for qualifications of I don't know what, because apparently they use Cascadia Cup. Um, do they? I don't want to think so. I'll say no, just so I'm not wrong, or maybe I am wrong. The Cascadia Cup is important to the Northwest. Um, with Portland, Seattle, Vancouver. That being the bread and we're the meat, which one's going to be more important to them? Are they gluten free? Are they going to go everything in the middle, or are they going to go gluten full and eat all the bread?
Well, sir, I don't think that there's any there's no raisins, so they'd have nothing to worry about. So
Oh no. Let's do you want to prediction time this one?
sure, 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 sure. Yeah, so both teams will be playing. They just played an Open Cup game. Both teams will be playing Saturday for RSL, then Sunday for Seattle. There'll be a lot of tired legs, a lot of maybe different lineups than we're used to, I think. So I think this will be a tough battle. 2-1. RSL gets the victory.
2-1 at home. Okay.
Oh,
Um, I am going to raise the stakes,
okay.
and because we're at home, there's a renewed confidence. Like when you're at the stadium, you can feel it. There's like a
Hmm.
renewed like, yeah, we now have one of the MVP candidates. We have one of the leading goal scorers in the league.
Esta es mi casa.
It's starting to turn into a fortress. So I think this is going to be a 2-0 win against Seattle.
I like it. I like it.
You better,
I
because
like
it
it.
it yes. Eh,
I
yeah,
like it. I
get it.
like it.
Italian hands. Um, I'm just I'm glad that we're out of Open Cup because now
Speaking of
we
that,
can rest.
one last thing before we finish up. With us being out of Open Cup, everybody was talking about this is the easiest path to get to the CONCACAF champions. Do you feel like RSL, now that's out, just put all of our focus on Supporter Shield and winning the Western Conference? Because we win the Western Conference, we punch our ticket.
Hmm, interesting. Um, to be honest, I'm gonna leave room for error with RSL. That I I think that there are gonna be hiccups a couple more hiccups during the season, and I think we're not going to get the top spot in the West. But I think we will be top 3 or top 4 at the the most bottom will be 4 for us.
Yeah.
Now, I hope that that's high enough in the supporter shield standings so that way if there happens to be some like lingering hey qualifying spots, we can
Yeah.
qualify for those. But if I were to be like blind and be like only show my fanaticism for RSL, I'd be like, yeah, we're gonna win MLS Cup, we're gonna win Supporter Shield because right now we're on a good roll. All we need to
Yeah.
do is beat out Miami, Leagues Cup, etc.
Yeah.
But the reality is, there's gonna be hiccups. There's just like we're experiencing right now with our center back hiccup.
Yeah.
There's gonna be hiccups. So
Yeah, after us losing last night, like, yes, it sucks because that was probably maybe the easiest path to make it to the CONCACAF Champions Cup, but I gotta be positive and just realize, like, we're number 1 in the West, and if we stay this way, then we punch our ticket. So,
just everyone remember, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, even if you don't like Argentina, just remember, Saudi Arabia 2022, so
we thank Saudi Arabia. And
yeah,
so
yeah.
and so I think right now we will be thanking New Mexico if we can get our mindset in the right place.
Do we cheer for New Mexico now that RSL's out?
Heck no.
We are NYCFC 2 fans.
No, we're not. Detroit.
Detroit. Yep. In honor of Carson, we got to cheer for Detroit to raise the cup.
We cheer for Detroit because they took out the defending champions. That's what we always want. The defending champions out. Always. So that way there's
Always,
new champions.
always.
So always. You need some water, bro. You got really excited there. You're like, Detroit, yes. Oh my gosh. Send us away, bro.
Yeah. So if you guys are not, if you're not already following us, what are you doing with your life? Head over to Twitter. Head over to Instagram at the RSL Bros. Listen to us on the go, at the gym, in your car, Apple, Spotify, and then or you can watch our faces right here on YouTube.
And not only my face, but apparently my daughter's face too.
Your daughter's face also. I will be at Kaye Saturday to watch the LA Galaxy game. Make sure you guys are there also. We can play some soccer, we can talk. But until then, we'll catch you guys next week, okay?
Peace.
Ciao.
Ciao.